Hi, everybody. Hi, Mariana, and hope you're enjoying CES. I know the times I went, it was 50-50 whether or not you enjoy it. But I want to talk to you today about the CryptoArt Agency and kind of give you an update. I think some of you, Mariana, you're aware of it and stuff, but this is an agency that has been established for taking art collections to NFTs. There's a lot of artists out there, but nobody's kind of representing the collections. And when I say collections, there's a lot of them out there that are private. There's a lot of collections out there that are public. There's museums that have collections within them. And the agency is being tasked with talking to them about minting NFTs and bringing that product to the NFT market, truly collectible art. The agency has experts from the movie business, art historians, professionals from blockchain, NFTs, and DeFi. The first collection that we're representing right now is the Sci-Fi Art Anthology. This is the largest collection of classic sci-fi art from 1910 to 1970. It is part of a collection that was called the Ackerman Collection. And like I said, it's from 1910 to 1970. And these are illustrations from short stories, from books by H.G. Wells, Jules Verne, and a lot of pulp science fiction magazines from 1910, 1920s, 1930s, all the way up to the 1950s.
Your PowerPoint is not changing. It's still on the first slide. You may have to do it manually or use not a PDF, but a PowerPoint file.
Oh, I see here. Hang on here.
That's it. That just changed.
Oh, yeah. Sharing is paused. Bring your shared window to the front. Hang on here.
You can continue side by side. It's readable. Oh, that's better.
Yeah, it's much better, but it's not going to share. So I am going to have to do this. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, sometimes with the PDF file on Zoom, it works this way, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is a keynote, but okay. So the agency here, like I said, we're approaching collections about taking their collections of museum quality art all the way to NFTs.
You're gonna have to do it manual.
Yeah, there we go. The first collection that we're doing, as I mentioned, is the Sci-Fi Art Anthology. And this is a collection of classic sci-fi art. There's 93 pieces, and it's art from 1910 to 1970. And what it is it's illustrations from books and short stories by H.G. Wells, Jules Verne, Ray Bradbury, a bunch of people, and then also from magazines from 1910, the 1920s, the 1930s. At that time, there was a whole deluge of very incredibly interesting sci-fi magazines. When the collection was acquired, at first it went out around the world in ringtones and wallpapers, which kind of tells you how long we've had the collection. And it became some of the most desired ringtones and wallpapers around the world. Then it was licensed to a lot of different manufacturers for shirts and things like that. Major magazines like Lagardère out of France licensed it. And then also Getty Images has it. It was also shown in the Museum of Science Fiction, and there was actually a documentary made called The Sci-Fi Pioneers, which talks about the founders of modern day science fiction, which is Forey Ackerman, Ray Harryhausen, and Ray Bradbury. And within that, we talk about the collection and how historically important it is, and also even with pop culture. In fact, here's a little clip of it.
Today, Ackerman is one of the world's most ardent fans, film historian, and collector extraordinaire of the science fiction and horror genre. The museum quality collection of some 300,000 magazines, hardcovers, pocketbooks, lobby cards, posters, stills, and paintings has been seen by over 50,000 people since this incredible repository was opened to the public in 1951.
I think my first impression of the mansion when I
you walked in and that to go into the Acker Mansion, you know, which is now in Horrorwood, California. Everywhere you look, there was stuff on science fiction films and monster movies, and God, this is cool.
And that's part of it, and that's kind of the basis for the showing about the collection. The collection itself has appeared in many films. I don't know how many of you enjoyed The Big Bang Theory, but all of that artwork in his was from the collection. The collection now has its own site, and it markets collectible art along with everything else, posters, cups, shirts, things like that. And about 6 months ago, the collection was approached about getting into NFTs. And as we kind of explored it, we saw that there's a real good fit here because a lot of the NFT and the NFT art is just by one artist, and it doesn't really have a historical significance. So we set up the CryptoArt Agency, and we went out and established relationships with some of the bigger drops. And here's our partnerships now. We're working with KnownOrigins, Rarible, OpenSea, Nifty Gateway, Wax, and OpenBuySea. And last December, we did our first joint venture with Wax. And that was an auction of an H.G. Wells piece called, was it A Story of Days to Come? And it went out, and it was for a 10-day auction. It started off at $3,000, and it ended up going up to $7,548. So it was 2.5 times what the original offering price was. So we were really happy with that. And one of the things that we're able to do, which we're kind of looking at doing with each one, but it's on a case-by-case basis, is that they can get the NFT, but also we can supply them with a canvas print or a poster or something that goes along with it to give it a little bit more appeal. Because obviously this stuff has a broad appeal, particularly when you look at entertainment. I mean, every movie today is either comic book or science fiction or something in the science fiction. And this whole collection is where all of that came from and where all of it started. Here are some of the pieces that we're going to be minting here shortly with other, maybe with KnownOrigins out of England and some other ones. But we're very excited about it because we believe that the future in NFTs is going to be with something that it's collectible, something that's got historical significance. And we're talking to other collections right now about getting them into the NFT market and sharing what they have so that people can have a piece of art and it's not just a little drawing, but it's something that they can point to and say, here's the story behind it. Here's why it's important. Here's why, I'm collecting this type of art versus little items. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. It's really awesome to see how far you've come with the development of the CryptoArt Agency, but also kind of reviving that feeling that the Sci-Fi Club had in Los Angeles, with everyone from Steven Spielberg to George Lucas being part of it, as well as all of the writers, all the great writers in the sci-fi community. Do you foresee that these NFT drops will sort of spark up that enthusiasm among the community again?
Oh, yes. And in fact, we're right now talking to not only that club, but the clubs across the country. And right now, our relationships on Facebook, if you go there and you do sci-fi clubs, it's like 7 to 8 million people just on Facebook when it comes to their interest in science fiction. And that's just in the US. We're also talking about going over, which we're already there in Japan, China, Korea. And this stuff just has such tremendous appeal because they also are just really into science fiction. You can tell by when you see the Star Wars, how it does, the Marvel comics, all of that. And what we enjoy is that all of that. And when we did the documentary and we spoke to those people, they all say, yeah, they were inspired by this stuff here. Stan Lee actually even told me, where Iron Man came from. And it was a short story about a robot. And he came up with the idea of making it not just a robot, but a man inside the robot. And that's how Iron Man came around. So yeah, we are really, really excited about it because the amount of entertainment that out there that's in our genre, and then we're coming in and kind of giving the behind the scenes or pulling back the curtain, like in The Wizard of Oz, and saying, here's what's behind all of that. Here's where it came from. Here's what H.G. Wells was doing. Here's what this person was doing. Here's this magazine. And we have the art. And because it has such big recognition already in the world, we think as NFTs go, it's just be really, really exciting. And we're also looking for other collections too, which we hope to announce that we're going to be signing some additional collections and representing them in the NFT market.